We are back yet again for Fantasy Football in 5. Last episode was our Sleepers episode.
So you haven't seen that, hit the big red button below.
This episode will be our Bus episode, so just wait to see.
So this Bus episode, we're going to start with the quarterbacks. We have Tyrod Taylor, Jared Goff, and Andrew Luck.
Now, running backs, we have Ezekiel Elliott, C.J. Anderson, and Rashad Jennings.
Now, for Andrew Luck in the quarterback position, obviously last season he was hurt a lot, and when he was on the field healthy, he didn't play very well either because he didn't have an offensive line. I'm kind of expecting the same sort of numbers from him this year, even though he should be healthy for a lot of the season. I just don't think his numbers will match what he did his first 2 seasons in the league.
Obviously, I'm going to talk about Ezekiel Elliott, the #1 bust of the year. The biggest and the best.
Woo!
And so the reason I'm going on about him is just because if you look at the moves that the Cowboys have made, they got Darren McFadden and they kept him, and then they went out and they signed Alfred Morris to a big deal. So they set up for him to fail. So
there's a lot of competition there.
Yeah, and expect him to not necessarily go out there and put up 1,000-yard season and a bazillion touchdowns. I'm expecting less than 1,000 yards and only like 5 touchdowns. Alright, we want to highlight a couple of receivers here. Starting out, we have Demaryius Thomas, Devontae Parker, and Dante Moncrief.
In the tight end department, we have Jimmy Graham and Tyler Eifert.
Now, Tyler Eifert, he had a really big season last year, and I actually expected him to have a good season last year.
Mm-hmm.
But this year, I'm not as high on him just because they lost a lot of receivers out there. And so, yeah, he may get more targets, but I also think he's going to get a lot more tougher coverages. So I expect him to be hindered by that.
And Devontae Parker, Miami Dolphins receiver, this is his second year in the league. He didn't do squat last season. I expect the same this year. Yes, he moves up a spot in the depth chart with Rashard Matthews leaving, but that doesn't mean he's going to perform well. I don't think Ryan Tannehill is a good enough quarterback for him to be able to play up to fantasy owners' needs. So for the defenses and kickers aspects of the bust, we begin with the Panthers, the Bengals, and the Texans for the defenses.
And for kickers, we have Chandler Catanzaro and Brandon McManus.
Now, Catanzaro is the Arizona Cardinals kicker. Now, he missed a lot of extra points last season. We had him on our team for a couple of weeks before we got tired of him missing those short field goals. So he's not a kicker that most people would want or desire, so I wouldn't draft him this year.
And for defenses, I wanted to highlight the Panthers defense because a lot of people are like, why do you have them on your bust list? They're such a great defense. Yeah, their front 7 is pretty good, but look at their secondary. They have nobody. It's bench players that are playing in the secondary. Josh Norman, who really wasn't that amazing last season, he just had an above-average year.
Yes.
And he left there, and he was the best secondary player.
I mean, who was Josh Norman before last year?
Exactly. So expect the Panthers defense to not be that great and have points scored on them all the time. Alright, a couple more players that we want to do just highlight as good busts this year would be Matt Jones. I think he is going to be a bust mainly because they have Chris Thompson, who I think will be the 3rd down back, and they also have Keith Marshall, who I think they're going to experiment with those two if Matt Jones doesn't produce. Because as you saw last year, yeah, he was good a couple weeks, but when he's bad, he's really bad.
Right. Nelson Aguilar, a wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, he did not have a very good rookie season at all. And now that they signed Ruben Randall, I think Randall will surpass him in targets and receptions and all those fun stats. But just look for Aguilar to have a very disappointing season yet again. Alright, that was Fantasy Football in 5, and thank you for watching. We deliver all your fantasies in 5 minutes because honestly, who would want to watch a 30-minute video on this topic?
Amen.
Alright, this video is our bust video. Next video will be our 50th video, and we really can't wait to release that. So stay with us and don't forget to subscribe.